How's it going, everybody? This is gonna be kind of a lame video, in my opinion. I think, like everybody else, like the community, I have ebbs and flows with the games for sure, and I think the whole community is on a downer right now, and I definitely get affected by that. This is super interesting because my favorite thing in the game is the legendary events and the Shadowking Legend event. We'll talk about the Shadowking Legend event, but I'm normally super pumped for this. Yesterday, for the first day in 5 years, I didn't log in. I didn't. Well, I did. Okay, that's not true. I did log in to Super Rush Crucible, Super Rush BattleWorld, Super Rush my raids. Didn't touch the stores, didn't do any energy stuff. I'm gonna miss my passes. I just did what I needed to do for my alliance mates. I guess the Crucible I did whatever. But everything else I just didn't do, which is like I'm a try hard. People think I'm a super whale, super crack, and I'm not. I spend like $40 on new characters. I haven't bought a pass in forever. And I kind of coast on being in endgame alliances that do super well. Over the last couple weeks, I have noticed myself, and my alliance mates can tell you, especially since I'm new to a lot of them. I missed a raid one day. I just didn't attack in war against super troopers. I just forgot. Like that's a really bad sign, because it's not that I don't get up here, I don't hate the game, just like I think there's so much potential for the game, and so because that potential is not being fulfilled, and I think there's so many big issues with the game, the apathy has set in, and I've definitely started looking for other games. So I want to talk a little bit about why that is. I also want to shine some light on this here. So it's the BattleWorld leaderboard and Skrull Diamond Heist. This caused some issues too. Honestly, I didn't have much issues with this, but we'll talk about this. Over the weekend, there was a bug that allowed the Astral team to deal over 1 billion damage on Null. We understand there are concerns, and we have internally reviewed all available data to confirm that this has not impacted the integrity of the BattleWorld leaderboard. Okay, so first of all, this is the screenshot that's been going around. This was shared to me, and then I shared it with my chat. We did confirm that this was actually a real thing that happened, because we were able to see his score after the fact. This was then shared in another content creator's video who didn't disclose that this was not me. And I then got inundated with lots of DMs calling me a fucking hacker and this, that, and the other. And so, no, this was not me. Didn't cheat. And if I did cheat, I wouldn't care either. So, okay, I'm going to hold my tongue on what I was going to say there. Anyway, there were only 2 instances of the actual team doing this amount of damage, and none of these were in the top 10 alliance scores. Okay, so I believe that this probably was not a super widespread thing. However, there were other instances of the bug coming into effect causing higher scores. Not 1 billion. Sorry, because they put the 1 billion here, it kind of covers their ass there. There was a lot of people that were able to score like 600, 700 million because the bug kicked in. They just had smaller teams, didn't last as long, whatever the case may be. We saw people with like 3-star Astral teams hitting the 600 million. And what the bug seemingly came down to was when Shadow King died and they gave his possession to somebody like Strange. There was some sort of weird interaction. I guess it could have been Strange or Moondragon. Some sort of weird interaction caused it to break the damage cap, and all of a sudden Strange would be hitting for like 30, 40, 50 million on his basic and then his ISO attack, and it broke the game in that sense. I'm not sure the nitty gritty of it. That's just kind of where we're at as far as our speculation goes and what people are saying. But yeah, so it happened more than just 2 occasions, just 2 occasions with over 1 billion. Either way, I don't think it's the end all be all for the BattleWorld season change. The guys at the top, the Super Troopers Alliance that were throwing up these crazy scores, that cluster, that was not the bug. I know the team they use will be sharing that team this week. The team is really good, and they told me like, hey, you can share this team, more the merrier. We want people to get through to difficulty 5. So we'll be sharing that team. It's pretty interesting. It does have elements of Astral, but there's actually 2 more very important characters that really change things up in a very particular sequence. So some good theory craft over there, and we'll share that as soon as we can, as soon as it's like live and you can do it right away. I will continue to monitor this issue over the coming weeks and the impact it might have on the leaderboards, and we'll fix the issue as quickly as possible. So I don't like, they're on Thanksgiving holidays right now. I understand the States, they go big on Thanksgiving, so I get it. I think there's other aspects of the game they need to be addressing without going on a huge break, but anyway. BattleWorld season change. The current BattleWorld season leaderboard will end on December 1st. The next season of BattleWorld will be a non-competitive season and last for 1 week. All alliances that reach 60,000 victory points will earn the following rewards equivalent to rank 51 to 100. So 10 basic T3 orb fragments, I guess 5 basic orb fragments, 10,000 or 100,000 T3 L1 ions, that's so little. 1.8 million T2 ions, 1.1 T2 level 4 ions. So not much stuff there, but here's the screenshot. Then they have Words of the Skrull Diamond Heist. Okay, well, let me speak on this for a second. Hopefully this is because they're trying to do some internal fixes to Battle. Like, they want to pull the season down. Maybe we're going to get some spec op fixes that I'm going to talk about that need to come to the game. Maybe we're going to see they're going to change stuff with Null, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know what they could do to salvage BattleWorld. We're going to do some BattleWorld content here in a little bit. You'll see what I'm getting at. But let's talk about the Skrull Diamond Heist. We also heard your feedback about Skrull Diamond Heist event. We will be taking the following actions regarding this for any player who upgraded Super Skrull in the 2 weeks prior to the event. We will be giving a refund for any Dark Promotion credits on Skrull's 5th to 7th Red Stars and Dark Diamond credits spent up to 1 diamond. We will also have a 30-day calendar awarding all players 5,000 Dark Promo credits. Good. This is good, right? I do think that they need to extend that window, or they're not going to. I think they should have extended that window to a month. If somebody's at like the 15-day mark, it's like, okay, 21,000 DPCs or the 5,000 you're giving to everybody now, so it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't help distinguish. Like, I think they should have extended that to a month at the very least. But it's something. And I'm glad that they would acknowledge, like, hey, you know, this kind of sucks. We'll do something. And they did take Envoy feedback and they ran with it, which is good. Next time, I really hope this is other feedback I gave, and I really hope they follow this because it just there seems to be such bonehead decisions that get made that cause issues like the above, and it's worse. Like it would be better if it was just a celebratory thing instead of like it's worse. Okay, now we're happy about compensation. Nobody's happy enough about compensation to drown out the week or whatever of bitching and complaining and moaning everybody's heard. Which, I mean, some of it I understand. Not some of it. I understand a lot of it, especially if you bought it recently, right? The solution to this, obviously, is that when they want to do a big gift drop like this, which I definitely celebrate, definitely do more of these big gift drops. You should definitely do one around Christmas time, right? Give people fragments that can open one of 2 orbs. Have 1 orb be the Skrull 7 red stars, or 1 diamond. So 7 red skulls and 1 diamond, right? 1 in each pillar. Have the other orb be the 5,000 Dark Promo credits. Let people choose. It's fine not to give everybody 21,000 Dark Promo credits because people have enjoyed the use of their Skrull, so they did get a lot of benefit from that. That is fine. That is how catch-up mechanics work. It's not a catch-up mechanic if it pushes everybody the same distance. It's just a gift, which, I mean, that's fine too, right? But do 2 orbs, let people choose which one they want to open, and go from there. This is the only thing that makes sense to me. And I hate that there had to be so much negativity around this because I do think it'll spook them from doing this again because they're too stubborn to take feedback from players like me. They say, like, this is great, do this again. Or maybe they did this on purpose to piss people off, so they have the excuse not to this again. I don't know. Hopefully I'm just wrong and I'm just a jaded asshole right now. Why am I jaded? Okay. I'm jaded right now because the game is super boring to me. The Shadow King event, that's my bread and butter, right? I love that. I love finding the solutions. I like having fun with it. The Old Man Logan one was a huge gut punch because it was Stargated. So right away, there was not much to interact with the community in regards to that. There was the OneNote unlock method, which was great. That's no longer a thing, which kind of sucks. Not kind of sucks. That really sucks. And the nodes themselves in the Shadow King, they were interesting for the first day. And then the second we had like 4 or 5 hits on each node, it's like, okay, we're just done. Now we're on efficiency. Everyone's already doing efficiency. The run was extended by 7 days. It really shouldn't have been. The leaderboards, let's just head over to leaderboards real quick. I assume they're a mess. By the way, guys, if you're trying to push for these leaderboards, I strongly suggest you do not push right now. Kevin, stop pushing right now. Ganondorf, Stocky, everybody stop pushing right now. See, he's already moved up. If you're pushing right now, guys, it's only going to get further and further up. It's only going to be more min and maxing, min maxing, min maxing. Wait until the last 3 days. Okay? Just wait until the last 3 days. Trust me on that. You do not want to be doing this for 17 days. My lordy lord, you don't want to be doing that for 17 days. But it's just a straight up efficiency match. There's nothing interesting here, and it comes down. Let me just restart my run. It comes down to these packs. I've been screaming at them for a while now about these packs. I think since definitely since Old Man Logan. It might have been since Green Goblin Classic though. How none of these packs. It might have been since Nova, to be honest with you. These packs are all positive. They're all winners for you, which leads to just absolutely mind-numbingly boring content. Right? Bio villains getting extra life. Okay, that's your Gore and your Gladiator. Cosmic villains, that's your Annihilators. Cosmic Crucible, that's your Illuminati. Arena, that's your Annihilator. Like, this is all positive for you. The packs only being good is a bad thing for the health of the mode. The Morgan Le Fay mode, the Rogue, even Red Hulk and Archangel, they had things that were negative. And those things did distinguish the leaderboards. We never had the same sort of ridiculous tying issues or efficiency fighting issues that we had with the Four Horsemen. I cannot fathom why they haven't implemented some of them back. It is such a gross, incompetent oversight. They were working in the game before. I don't know why the code wouldn't be working now. Why aren't they here? Why isn't Warp World here? Why don't we have things here? And why does it cap at difficulty 15? The Morgan Le Fay event was also super interesting because everyone was doing difficulty 8 when the max is difficulty 10. You literally could not do difficulty 9. You could not do difficulty 10. Maybe that wouldn't be the case with diamonds now. Maybe people with 1 diamond would be able to trudge their way through difficulty 15. People with 3 diamonds would be able to get through difficulty 17. Why do they have it at such a point where the content is either one shot or get one shot? Except in this difficulty, we aren't getting one shot either. We're able to take it. It makes no sense. It's such a flub, it's such a miss, and it seems so unnecessary and just like self-imposed to cause these issues. But let's get back to battle. Because this is the theme, right? PvE is boring. And raids, I mean, do we even have raids right now? That's our Crucible. Do we even have raids going right now? No, because we sim through them all. That's kind of normal for raids, though. It's like 2 weeks of fun, 4.5, 5 months of trash simming, right? That's just, it is what it is. Once you get the teams, fine, right? BattleWorld. BattleWorld has been in development for God knows how long. And we've seen other games with this sort of mode before. And that's why I was super hyped on it. Because I played this game, Lord of the Rings, which was a trash game. It did not have good character progression. It did not have interesting character abilities and things like that. Marvel Strike Force is such a rich game. It is such a rich game with how many characters right now? I don't know. So many characters are in this game, okay? There are so many different things we could lean into. Like, okay, let's do some examples. First, let's talk about Spec Ops. Because before I can even do any sort of gameplay, I need to go into Spec Ops or I'd risk ruining the event for my alliance. And Spec Ops is... Oh, Spec Ops. Okay, I need to put in my Spider-Man Pav. Okay, so he's now in there. I need to throw in my Black Bolt and my Ghost Spider. Good stuff. I need to throw in my Omega Sentinel. Okay. I need to throw in my regular Sentinel and my Deathpool. And then I need to throw in my Iron Man Zombie and my Scientist Supreme. I also was supposed to put in my Nimrod and my Lady Deathstrike, but somebody already did those. But it's okay because it's actually all completed. I did this on my baby account earlier. And the first thing that happened, the first Spec Ops I went in to go place, somebody stole my Spec Ops. But on that account, there was a lot that still had to be done. So it was decision paralysis for me. It's like, okay, so now I need to go find who's in the wrong on this list right now, see if they covered all their other stuff before I make any moves. Or I need to talk to the captain. Hey, captain, what do I need to do? So it's so much work when these sort of issues arise, because if I go in and use characters now that are necessary for the Spec Ops, I'm going to ruin everything for my alliance, even though somebody grabbed mine on accident, on purpose, whatever the case may be, right? There is no reason why we shouldn't be able to set our spec ops before the mode goes live, like war defense. There's also no reason we should have to do this fucking shit every single day. This should be saved like war defense. This is just war defense. These are just characters you are committing to not use in the actual gameplay. This is the same fucking setup as war defense. How is it not already done? I could even access the other zones today. I could go to the other zone right now. I could go to difficulty 3. I could open the fucking spec ops. Why can't I set them? It's right here. I can do it. Put the fucking add button on. The amount of frustration that Spec Ops brings to this goddamn mode is... it's crazy. Okay? But there's more... what is this? This is Villain Global. This is the Cabal node. I won't use Cabal. Okay? Let's see. Let's just use something stupid. Let's go... what other characters do I need to use later, I guess? We got Mutant, Mercenaries, Astro. Okay, that's fine. So I won't even use Cabal. The two options here would be what? Cabal and Orcus would be good, right? Crucible options are open here, which is a huge issue in my opinion. Let's go Lady Deathstrike with Agatha. Not Dawkin because we're gonna need Dawkin. Let's go Juggernaut because why not? Not Taskmaster because we'll need Taskmaster. Sure, Archangel, that sounds fun. And Emma Frost. I have no idea if this is going to work. This is what I did yesterday. On the Spider-Verse node, I brought in Tangled Web with Spider-Woman and Big Time Spider-Man. And I was able to walk through it. Do you know why I was able to walk through it? Because it was fucking Wave 1 Avengers. In BattleWorld missions, you are racing against the clock to clear as many enemy waves as possible. Each wave increases in challenge, but also rewards you more victory points towards your total. You can attempt each mission up to 3 times. New attempts start from wave 1. Well, that's kind of true because you can attempt it a million times if you just back out. I'm not sure if that's what they wanted to have happen, but that's what's happening. All right. I don't know why you just gave me the opening spiel for BattleWorld, but I actually am fine with that. All right. So use the Archangel special here. Oh, hey, look, my Archangel nearly one-shot these characters. Well, Agatha will finish them off, I guess. Oh, and then Archangel will finish them off that way. That's kind of cool, I guess. Why don't we rewind over here on this rocket just because? All right, well, he's dead. Here, why don't we go over here now? Do you see what I'm getting at? This sucks. This is boring. This is trash. This is garbage. And I don't understand why it has to be this bad. Why was I facing off against Guardians? And if I was facing off Guardians, why didn't you give them a crap ton of stats so I can at least maybe experience what Guardians were like back in the day? Like, that would be fun, right? If Guardians were the thing, but when you load in, they have like 5 times their normal stats. Maybe you can play around their speed bar, especially if you're going to give me a billion attempts anyway. I give the ulted. She cleared the entire wave except for the one Drax. Like, if it's just going to be team deathmatch, like raids are, like all of our other PvE modes are, right? Hey, just kill these guys and then move on to the next wave. Kill those guys, move on to the next wave. Kill those guys, move on to the next wave. If it's just going to be like that, why have this mode? Why not just introduce another raid tier? Right? Why make BattleWorld a mode instead of just releasing some sort of thing called BattleWorld raids? Something ridiculous like that. I'm so floored at the failures of this. And this isn't even the worst of it, right? The worst of it is null. Because if this was super awful, like it is, fine. It shouldn't be this long. It shouldn't be as many days. There shouldn't be as many nodes. But if null is fun at the end of the day, that's great. The bug, some people probably had fun trying to force the bug to happen. I think that's actually, I get it. Lots of people, they play what they call trash games because they like to exploit things developers didn't have in mind to have interesting results, right? I would get that too. The bleed team is fun. I don't think the bleed team was ever intended. Null itself, I already did this in another video, so I don't want to beat this dead horse. Null's boss fight is suffocatingly bad. It is so bad because of the speed mechanics and the damage cap and what they imply, right? So the speed mechanics can't be rewound, gets a shit ton of speed, The slows gets completely erased because, hey, every single time you take a turn, he gets 20% speed bar. We can never really do anything to him except for the first 2 or 3 turns. The damage cap makes it so that characters that like Kang and Cabal that hit super hard, they just don't really do any damage to him because they hit that damage cap super quick. So what ended up happening is, unless you were able to tap into that bug, or if you were a veteran player that had a veteran account that had Adam Warlock built up and Omega Red built up, or you could pull that trigger and get it done because you have all these resources, because they don't move stores or progression paths fast enough for you to actually use your store resources. That's an entirely other issue. Then you just didn't kill him enough because they put an arbitrary, you have to kill Null 5.5 times. So, hey, by the way, it's only if you have Odin and you beat that challenging node and you did all your spec ops. Spec ops, by the way, not worth very much at all. And I guess the Astral nodes played a big part into it too. My Baby Alliance had to kill him 7 times. I think we got 4. We got 4 in because none of us have Adam Warlock built up. None of us have Omega Red built up. I think 2 people probably do. One of them is the veteran player that ended up joining us. That alliance should be in difficulty 5 because, and I was showing it on stream earlier, I'm autoing the nodes. Every other node I'm just autoing. It's just because Null is such a suffocating fight. There's no actual theory crafting that goes into killing him more amounts of times or doing more damage because of all those suffocating things, that they basically just said, we're gating difficulty 5. Get fucking wrecked. Those Null shards that you get for difficulty 5 instead of difficulty 4, it's like 2 difference, whatever. The different isolate, like, we're only going to continue extending this advantage to veteran players. There's no real reason you and your Baby Alliance can't do difficulty 5 because you're kind of crushing everything else, even the Astral nodes. But hey, get fucked. Like, all of this after being compounded by having to start on the normal difficulty of BattleWorld. BattleWorld is a week-long event. It is not raids. It's not like I go into raids, it sucks for one day, the next day sucks a little bit, the next day sucks a little bit, but hey, we reached difficulty 3.3 after 4 days. It's not like that. It's weeks of mindlessly going in, doing the spec ops shit we talked about, autoing these goddamn simple nodes. Like, it's weeks of this trash. And then after you fight Null, 3 weeks, it becomes so apparent how boring it is and how anti-theory crafting it actually has become because of all the speed gates on him. This mode is a fucking copy-paste of a lot of other games with Marvel IP thrown on it. How do you flub it so hard? Why doesn't Null have 50,000 times more life than he does here? This might be a problem with the Marvel Strikeforce community. We don't need to clear everything. You shouldn't. The waves, it'd be fine if the waves on the nodes were infinite and you just got 50 points depending how far you got. Why limit it to 6? Why not have the enemies randomly generate in? Make it crazy. Give a couple tags and they randomly generate in. Okay, now we get to go. That's something like that. Random, never great, but something like that besides what we have. And why not have Null vulnerable to everything? He still gets the rage mechanic. Have a symbiote summon in every single time 5 of our allies take a turn. 5 of our non-summoned allies, because you don't want to ruin an entire class of characters. There's just, there seems to be no thought besides, here's the team we want to sell, the Astral team. How can we make this the only team that performs well on Null? Make it percentage life damage is going to do the best. Make it out of turn stuff happens, and then they're going to be the best. So they reverse engineered from what the Astral team does to what Null does. And then they never thought to look at what the mid-game and early game experience would be like. Because mid-game, early game Astral teams, all up to like difficulty 4, Astral's kind of trash. Difficulty 5, I think Astral will be fine because the damage cap is now 4 million if you have Emma on your team because they had to buff her. I don't know why they didn't do that before. 6 million now. So when your characters are doing 6 million damage on their basic attacks like Strange and Moondragon, yeah, that team's probably going to be way better than, you know, Bleeds from Old Man Logan or attacks from Mephisto or Odin or stuff like that. Like, probably going to be way better, which is fine. But what about everybody else in the game? It seems like there wasn't a lot of thought put into it. Why did less than 200 alliances make it into difficulty 5? Like what, 4,000 people? Doesn't the game have 180,000 people in it? Something like that, according to the last leaderboards. I assume a lot of them are bots or alt accounts and stuff like that. I don't know. It just PvE has felt so horrible in Marvel Strike Force. And it all comes back to this. This is why I've decided to make this video, because I see a lot of people making it, and maybe if enough of us make it, Scopely will make some interesting PvE content. Yesterday was the first time I didn't log in 5 years. And don't get me wrong, War and Crucible are actually really good right now. I think War and Crucible are really good right now. They're really interesting, the different combinations you can make. War is actually so interesting that I get overwhelmed by it, and I'm bad at it now because I just don't have enough time to keep up with it. But all the chores that Marvel Strike Force has for the PvE stuff, chores suck, man. This is the worst part of Saturday mornings growing up, was doing chores. Best part was watching Dragon Ball Z. I'll leave it there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you let Scopely know if you feel like me and we need interesting PvE. It can't all be AutoFest. It can't be Sims. It can't just be, here's the team you have to use it, or have no fun in PvE. In PvP, that's fine. In PvP, for instance, there's a Alpha Flight team on defense. Let's be very generous with this example. There's an Alpha Flight on defense, okay? I can only use Mercs for money, Annihilators, Illuminati Captain Britain. I have to use those teams. That's fine to be that prescriptive in PvP. PvE needs to change. It needs to evolve. It needs to get so much better than it is. And Scopely, if you're watching this, I'll help you. I will make nodes for you. I will tell you game mechanics. I can't code anything because I'm a fucking trucker, but I do think I'm tapped into what the community wants from challenging PvE content, and how to not make it be so challenging that we have to play the game for 5 hours a day. Hit me up. You know where to find me. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.